Hello, everybody. Do you hear me? How is the audio and video? I don't see my audio. Hopefully, it's working. Do you hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me. Awesome. Bob says audio and video is good. It's weird not hearing yourself back. Um, I decided to go with the Bluetooth headphone because, well, it's loud in here, and so hopefully you all can hear and see me. We are live at the radio station transmitter site. We just put in the transmitter after replacing 3 of the 4 power modules. And because, of course, things always go as planned, the first power module that was on the air for all these months decided to die. And so we still are not full power. We are producing 1,700 of the 2,000 that we are required to transmit, which means we're not really compliant. So you're probably wondering what a power module looks like. So this is a module, and so we replaced three of these, and one of these was on the air, and it uh, decided to not come back after we, pulled the whole unit out. We replaced several resistors, and to show you what those look like, hopefully, am I on the wrong webcam? I bet I am the wrong one. No, I'm on that one. So this is the resistor that basically, there were several of these resistors that got fried, and so that's why we were able to not make any power. Um, oh, Bob says to block my face. Okay. Does that work? Hopefully you can see it. So basically, these are what fried, and literally pieces were falling out. Like, that is the part of the resistor that fell out when the transmitter got opened up. So it definitely resisted working. So it broke, and so did some, repairs today, and then put the transmitter back in place. And like I said, we're making part of our wattage. We're not making our entire wattage that we're required to. So anyway, I haven't really been live in, well, gosh, what, a month? When was my last actual live stream? Sorry, I'm not in my usual setup, so I don't really have chat on the screen. I can't really do a whole lot, so I'm using my phone to kind of look at some things. So my last live stream was 3 weeks ago, Monday, and man, basically the last couple of weeks I've just had, it's been interesting. I got sick. I was sick for days. It was not COVID, but it didn't feel very good either way. And so that's why I didn't stream the one Monday. We had a friend over from Vermont. He was in town for a couple of days, and so I didn't stream because of that. I just really have not been feeling very well. In fact, my back right now is not at all very good. It it sucks getting old, I guess. I mean, I'm not really old. I'm only 40 years old, but went to a corn maze with Haley and some friends. Walked through the corn maze. Everything's fine. No pain, no nothing. It was muddy, but again, no big deal. And get home and basically sit down and then go to stand up, and then my back hurts and I can barely move. And I've had back pain since Sunday evening. In fact, I didn't go to work yesterday because my back hurt so much. So, you know, it is what it is. But I wanted to go live. I've been wanting to go live from out here for a while now, and I just wanted to kind of see how it would go. We're on DSL internet out here. There's no Wi-Fi, so I had to plug a cable in. not that you guys can see it, but I had to plug a cable in because there's no Wi-Fi out here, and then we're on DSL. So yes, Tony, this is actually a Aaron Parecki shirt. It is by far, and this is no joke, the most comfortable T-shirt I've ever owned. I don't know what kind of shirt this is, but the shirt itself is just very light and airy. And I'm one to always overheat and be hot, so a lot of T-shirts sometimes are made of that heavier fabric, and I just, I don't like them. And this is a very light shirt, very airy, and so I would totally buy just the T-shirt alone because very good fabric. We'll just say that. So yes, so Bob says I can't imagine why you would not want to use Wi-Fi at a high-power transmitter site. I actually, is this still out here? No, I don't see it. Ow, my back is hurting. I actually don't see it here. I had at one point one of those. Oh my god, I can't think of the name. The little $45 like travel routers. Joe, I think, recommended one on a video. I think Bob, you might have recommended one. Like they're $45, not MikroTik. I want to say, yeah, I don't remember what those were, but they're. I want to say Belkin, but I don't think it's Belkin either. They run in the background. They run WW R not wow. I almost feel like I have COVID because sometimes my brain just completely yes, the Burl router or how you pronounce it. But yeah, they run OpenWRT in the background, but they have like this nice front end to it, or I should say nice. It's a simplified front end, and it runs. And so I had one of those here, not to act as a router, but just simply act as an access point because I didn't need, a Ubiquiti out here. I didn't need anything like that. I just needed some Wi-Fi basically so that, my phone could get onto it and my laptop could run it. GLINet. There we go. There you go, Bob. Gold star for Bob. Um, so I had a GLINet out here, and I don't know if it is in fact the fact that there's a 2,000 watt transmitter sitting right here where my finger is, or whatnot. But the damn thing did not last very long. So and Bob gave himself a gold star. So the thing died like after 6 months. I don't know what happened to it. It just would not power on at all. And so maybe it is an RF environment issue. I mean, most of the RF goes up the pipe and out to the transmitter or out to the antenna. Speaking of pipe, since we're actually at a transmitter site, I can show you what transmission line looks like. So we're going to play a little show and tell. So one of the first things we have, and all towers have lights on them because you have to, per FAA rules, you have to light your tower if it's over 200 feet. So, what kind of light bulb is at the top of a tower to make sure everyone can see it? One of these. This is exactly what is up there. I don't know if this one still works or not. Looks like it might. But this thing is literally like it's almost the size of my head. These are what actually go up and get screwed into the tower light mounts. And this is what lights up TV towers or radio towers. They're going to the new LED, bulbs and whatnot, but these are the old school bulbs, and they still work. And in fact, when this site was relit, was it earlier this year? I think it was February. It was relit. This is what they used. So we have a couple of these spare ones on the ground just in case. And So yeah, this is what a light bulb looks like for lighting a TV tower. Yes, the bulb was very cheap. Bob, you are right. It was, and there's a lot of bugs. So if I swat at things, that's what I'm swatting at. Uh, the tower crew was $1,800 for the day, and there were two of them. There's always two of them for safety, and one stays on the ground and one goes up the tower. And so it's $1,800 for the day. That included drive time, and they were here for I want to say about 2 hours to do this tower, and then we took them, or I took them, into town, and they fixed a wiring issue I had on a different tower in town. So I got the money's worth, that's for sure. And so they came from about 2 hours away. So I think they drove 2 hours. They were here for about 4 hours, and then drove back home. And so that was $1,800 plus parts. So I think the total bill was like 1,900 something bucks. I mean, um, not to say those guys are the cheapest, but they definitely were not the most expensive. So that's very good price for just a simple tower climb. Um, so, but you think of I say coax, which I've said before on the channel. Oh, the coax line that goes up the tower. Well, it's not like the standard coax lines that you have at your house for cable TV or whatever it is. When I say coax line, this is what I mean. This is 50 ohm transmission line, and this is how it connects together. And so it has four. You have to bolt these sections together, and then there's these thing called bullets. And I can see if I can take this thing apart. This one doesn't have. I can't do that. But basically, you have at the end these little things that look like bullets, and then there's spacers, and then you have this inner line, and the power actually goes on this, and then there's these ceramic spacers that allow it to sit perfectly inside of the outer coax, and the plastic is transparent to the RF, so the plastic does nothing to stop the RF. It's riding on the center line, and then the outside is simply insulation, so that I can reach up and touch the line. Right now, it's got 2,000 watts going through it, and the line's not hot. I don't feel anything. I'm not getting electrocuted because, again, the power is on the inside, and the outside is literally just insulation and protection and a return path, if you will, but it's not actually carrying any voltage. So, hi, David. Welcome in. Just live from the transmission site, talking about giant light bulbs, big transmission line, and you probably missed it, but we replaced 3 of these power boards the other day, or today actually, and this is what we're replacing. And so no, it was kind of random. I had the theory, I should say, I knew I was going to come out here today, but I didn't know what time, and I didn't know if I'd have time to go live. So I kind of just randomly scheduled it at the last minute. So no, you did not miss the schedule announcement. It was scheduled, I don't know, a half hour ago. So what else did I miss? Oh, Bob said Jeff Geerling does a great tour with his dad of some megawatt site. Yes, if you really want a good walkthrough, Jeff Geerling Engineering does a walkthrough with his dad of a great transmission site. I'm not going to do that for legal reasons. I don't want to go down that route, but it basically, yeah, go check out his page. It does a great walkthrough. How many board? Oh, Bob says, how many power boards does the transmitter support, and how many does it need? So it only has It only supports 4 of these, and it needs all 4 of them to do the 2,000 watts. I think uh, I think each one is capable of like 600 or 700 watts, give or take. And so right now, with only 3 of them running, we are at 1,730 watts. Uh, it's set to output 2,000, so it's just short of its goal, or desired goal, I guess you will, desired operation. So each board puts out a little more than 500, is capable of outputting a little more than 500. Currently, it's only outputting 1,700, like I said. And Bob says, please keep your day job. Yes. Um, like I said, I mean, I probably could do it, but I purposely avoid certain topics on this channel, as you know, just to avoid any potential gray areas. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to sacrifice security in any way, shape, or form. But I feel like it's important to share uh, what I do because honestly, people don't know much about it. People think, the radio just works or the TV just works. And there's a lot going on behind the scenes to make those TV and radio stations work. And I thought I wanted to share. And there's only like 3 of us on here that actually do that kind of sort of thing. Um, Jeff Gerling shared the video about it, but his dad's not a YouTuber. So there's only a couple of us on here who actually work in the business and are on YouTube and will discuss certain aspects of it. You will never see me discuss security in any way, shape, or form other than just general security. And I don't talk about where I work, what city am I in, all that stuff. So I try to keep it as generic as possible for those reasons. So each one of these cards is $1,000, give or take. It's like 1,080. So we replaced 3 of these, uh, 3 50-watt resistors, and 2 100-watt resistors, along with some new filter fabric and what else? What else was there? I think there was something else I bought, uh, and it was like $4,000. So, yes, Bob says I no longer talk about the cows that disappeared, and yes, um, the site used to have cows, and then one day they were gone, and they have never come back. So, um, I do miss the cows. They were nice because they always kept the grass perfectly mowed or trimmed, I should say, and it was nice not to worry about going through all the grass. So now the grass outside of the transmitter site itself is knee high, if not higher, and well, that's kind of annoying, frankly. How long does the board last? And hello, Colorado or Colorado. The boards are not. You can't repair them. Um, at least I don't know how to repair them. And my guy at the station who I talked to about it today does not repair these boards. In theory, you could probably replace parts of it if you knew how to do it, or if you could do surface mount. Um, but there's a whole lot of, if you will, black magic if you going into these things that make no sense to me. Um, so could you replace it if you knew what you're doing? Probably. Um, but we just buy them. Like I said, they're about $1,000. Uh, yeah, they're not. They kind of are. They kind of do look low tech, honestly, Bob. I will sure I will definitely say that. Let me put this stuff down real quick, and I will be right back. Hold on. So I was hoping to find the drawing that I had at one point. Nope. I had a drawing at some point that kind of explained what a transmitter was or how it kind of worked, but I can't find it in my documentation anywhere. I will have to look that up and maybe share it with you guys. So, but basically, yeah, these cards, these modules are, they just take power in, DC power in on the bottom here, and then there's two little, really small connectors. And I'll share this. I'll share a better picture of this in the next live stream when I'm back in my studio. But it's basically power in. You got a little sample line coming in, or an RF line, I mean, and then I think there's some kind of control line. And they just basically come in because, I think we talked about this before. Maybe we didn't. But basically, there's two parts to a transmitter. There's the exciter, and then there's the actual amplifier part. So a transmitter is usually both, but it does not necessarily have to be. So you have the exciter, and the exciter actually makes the signal. So in that transmitter behind me is an exciter card or exciter module, I guess you'd probably call it. It makes the signal. So it makes, 92.5 or whatever frequency you're listening to, or whatever TV station, whether it's, channel 7, it makes that signal, but it's very low, like 10 watts or 5 watts. It outputs that signal, and then these cards amplify it. So this card is very basic. It's not doing anything special. It's just literally taking an input and boosting it to a higher power level. And then you take several of these and you combine them together in a very interesting, I will say, diagram, if you will. I want to say zigzag pattern. I'll show it to you guys next time. But basically, it combines them in a way. There's bugs walking around over here. So there's, it just combines them in a way that then, they're all synchronized and whatnot, and boom, there you got your 2000 watts. So yeah, these cards are not exactly high tech, if you will. Let me go back to the, so Colo Radio asked, how long do they last? Are they repairable? The cards that are in here, the first card in here has been in here for probably 5 years. These other cards have been in there for maybe 10. I think they might have been original. I don't recall replacing any of those. I recall replacing one years ago, but I don't recall replacing any since. So when they all died, I was like, yeah, they're basically getting up there in age. So, $4,000 every couple of years isn't that big a deal, or shouldn't be a big deal for a radio station. That's just kind of the cost of doing business. I don't know what a new transmitter costs. I've never priced one, but for $1,000, I don't think it's too bad. I'm actually gonna ask for a new one for the power module that just died, and I'm gonna ask for a spare one because at that point I'll have a spare amp and 2 spare resistors, one of each kind. So if we have a problem again in the future, like we had this time, I can just pull it out, replace it, and go back on the air in the same day, as opposed to being down and going through this whole scenario where we've been down for more than we probably should have been. So let me go back up. Is there good internet at the tower, or are you using a hotspot? So this is DSL. I don't even know what speed it is. Can I do a speed test and not take myself off the air? So right now I'm getting about 9 megabits down. I'm not even gonna worry about the upload because I don't want to, but I'm only getting 9 megabit down. We are in a cow pasture, and basically, there's a house that way, about half a mile or about a quarter mile. There's a house that way, about a quarter mile, and there's a business about a mile down the road, and that's it. There's nothing else on this road. Like there's a couple houses, and that's it. And I gotta go kill this giant ass spider that just ran around the corner because I don't know where it went, but I don't want to see it again. And I mean, it was a huge spider. This site is full of spiders. I mean, full of spiders. And so just so you know, I have to duck because right here is a little antenna switch contraption that the previous engineer put in here, and he hung it so low that I literally can't walk below it. And so just a quick tour. There are two racks right here. This first rack, which you can't really see, but you basically have this rack right here. This rack has all the equipment in it. So this has a network switch down here and my VPN appliance, my DSL modem. It has an off-air radio so we can actually hear the station, a couple meters, and some power strips. All this is got really good grounding, and I wish I could show you, but I can't really show you right now. But everything is grounded because we're at a tower. So, lightning may hit the tower, come in, go to ground, but just in the case, this stuff is connected to the same ground system, you got to make sure it's all grounded so that it's all protected from lightning. You don't want anything to be higher than something else because lightning may go to that instead. In this other rack back here that you can see is the actual transmitter itself, about my chest level. Below it is actually the old audio processor and transmitter. That transmitter outputs, I want to say, like 20 watts. It's very, very low power. I mean, it plugs in with a regular IEC cord, and so it's not drawing that much power. It's only 20 watts. Below that and is a UPS that protects all of this stuff. And up here, again, you guys, I wish I could show you this, but is our receiver that brings the audio in. You got a panel over here, electrical panel. Below it is a transfer switch, and then you got a surge protection right here. There's a disconnect for the power right here, so I can actually shut off power and test the generator. If I knew it was going to come on, I would do that, but unfortunately, that is due for service, and I think it's due for service this month or next month, and it did not want to fire the other day. So I'm not going to test that right now because it may just go off, and then we're dead in the water. So yeah, so the snow will take care of the grass. Yes, the snow will definitely take care of the grass. It's going to snow tonight where you are, David. Okay. It's actually 70. Well, it was 70 degrees out earlier. Currently, it is 71 outside, which is very warm for October. Okay, so it's cooled down to 69 degrees outside. But we're like in a warm spell. There's like 4 days, and they're all above 70. So feels great right now. I love 70-degree weather. I can't stand being warm. So 70 is like my upper limit of where I'm comfortable. So Mr. Carlson's lab should take a look. I don't know who Mr. Carlson is. What is the average temperature inside the transmitter site? We keep the thermostat at 68 right now because you can see there's no insulation on the roof. That doesn't really do much, but we kind of try to keep it, pretty cool. I like the wintertime because basically we just turn the heat down to like 50, and basically the transmitter makes its own heat, so we really don't need heat in here. It's more for the people who come here to the transmitter site and work as opposed to the actual transmitter. But in the wintertime, it does get awfully, or in the summertime, it gets awfully warm in here. And we have a air conditioner mounted in the wall. There you can see it. It's a wall mounted unit like you see in a hotel. And so sounds like you should have a full round of transmitters. Yeah, I mean, I think I've talked about this before. At the TV stations, we have full-size, redundant backup transmitters with multiple modules. So if you lost a module in a TV transmitter, it just keeps running. It's the same power level. They've got multiple modules they can take over. Radio station transmitters can be built that way, but this one is at least is not. It's one of the lower power, lower output models. So, but yes, I get your point, Bob. It sounds like with headlights, if one blows, you should replace them all. Yes, we absolutely should have. In hindsight, yes, I wish I would have requested 4 instead of 3, but the one was running. I just replaced it a couple years ago, thinking we'll be good. Yeah, in hindsight, now I wish I would have requested a 4th one. But if I need to get I do need to get a 4th one. When I get a 4th one, you pull this out and you got 2 connections in the bottom, 4 connections in the bottom, 1 on the top. It's done. It's like a half hour. You spend more time undoing the screws because there are, what I count, 17 screws to pull the bottom off. So yeah, it's a lot of screws to pull it out. Low 20s, holy cow. Mr. Carlson's lab has old RF stuff. Oh, well, I guess I gotta go check out Mr. Carlson because can you send me hold on. Sorry about that. I needed to go get a drink and my other water is over there. So thank you, Bob, for sending me that link. I will go check it out. Do you guys have any other questions while I'm sitting out here? Anything else? Oh, I forgot to tell you that the tower light system is right here. It does its little own thing and flashes the beacon. This site's actually wired. You can see it up there. Maybe you can't. Okay. Like I said, there's actually an antenna switch up there, so it's designed to have 2 different transmitters. But this room is so small that we really can't fit a whole lot more in here. I suppose I could, if given the money or budget, to add a second transmitter line or in here, bring up the line, plug it in, and then have a full backup. But that's not in the budget. The transmitter building should operate in the typical like 70-ish. These things, I will tell you the TV transmitter site we keep at 68, and the transmitter typically outputs, at that temperature, 68, it typically outputs about 80. And that's perfectly fine. It's happy with that. We actually lost air conditioning in that building the other day. The room was 86. The transmitter was outputting over 100, and at that point, it backed the power off to help save itself. So you want to basically shoot for 70. You don't want to go too high over that. There's no reason to go lower. It's just going to cost you money to keep it lower than 70. But you got to keep it about 70 because the transmitter wants to output about 85 or lower. So, because once it hits 100, it basically goes into throttle mode and tries to save itself by working less hard and therefore producing less heat. Um, and I will tell you right now, if I put my hand back here, the where the exhaust is, it is definitely warmer than the room by probably 10 to 15, if not 20 degrees. So where my hand is right now, even though the AC is back here and it's cold, I mean, it's cold. By the time it gets here, it's very warm right there. Of course, that's the output of the unit. And yes, the air conditioning is behind the intake. It was not my design. That's how it was built. I can't go change the building. Um, I would love to get have a donor or somebody give money and redo this building. But again, that's not in the budget right now, so we're gonna make do with what we have. Um, I could probably make a couple changes to this building. Given a little bit of money, maybe improve, you know, the roof. That'd be the first thing I would do is tear that roof off and build a new one. Uh, that's needed, and we're gonna hopefully do that in the summertime. We got a couple quotes. They were kind of crazy expensive. I mean, it's not that fancy of a roof. It's not that much space, so I'm not quite sure why the quotes were so expensive. I think they just saw the fact that it was a university and said, "I'm going to raise the price." I don't know. It made no sense to me how expensive the quotes were for what honestly could be a day's work for a crew. Um, Maybe at most 2 days. Just seemed kind of expensive to me. So I have no interest in doing roofing, but maybe we'll look into that. I don't know. We got to figure something out. Do you need to heat that building in cold winter, or does it get? No, yeah, we don't have to heat the building. The transmitter makes enough heat on its own. Like I said, that we just kind of heat the building for basically people. And there is some gear over here that I don't know what it would do if it was freezing. But you also don't want condensation, so therefore you got to keep it above a certain temperature just to keep things from getting uh, condensation in them. Yeah, so the transmitter makes enough heat. Yep. So not worried about that. Um, Actually, it feels nice when you come in here from outside in the wintertime. You go to the back, you just put your hands up there, nice little warmer. So, alrighty, well, I think I'm gonna call it quits. I have to actually drive home. It's about a 35-minute drive from here. Um, I did not plan on going a whole JAU tonight, so I just wanted to get on here and do a live stream since I've kind of missed you guys. And so hopefully I answered your questions. Maybe you guys gave you something to think about for the next time. I'm really curious to see how this sounded based on using this headset. Um, and so I appreciate you all for being here. Thank you for joining at this last minute or late notice, I should say. And I will not be live Monday, but I will try to be live again. No, I'm not sure. I may be off for a little bit because we're taking a vacation and we're gonna be out of town. So I don't know what my next live stream. I don't know what my next live stream is going to be. We will have to wait and see. Um, I actually thought about changing it to Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Um, Sometimes Mondays just seem hard to do, and I've been missing a couple Mondays. So if you have thoughts about Tuesday night live stream versus Monday, let me know. Send me a link or a comment down below, whatever. I'd be curious to know if Tuesdays work better for people than Monday. It always seems that I can't make Mondays, but I can always make a Tuesday. Bob says Tuesday's better for him. I know Tony, Joe, and I think David even watch Keith Bennett on Tuesdays. who usually is done by 9 p.m. So I mean, I wouldn't interfere with him at all. But I just curious. Make sure you check your bags. Yeah, um, that's a good point. I should check my bag. Um, Haley would absolutely flip if I brought a spider home. She would absolutely flip. Tony says Mondays are tough for me. Tuesdays would probably be better. Okay, well, I mean, I guess I'm not opposed to moving it to Tuesdays. I do it right after Keith's stream. Um, yeah, I would. If I brought a spider home, I would definitely be in the doghouse. So don't want to do that. And these things, that spider that walked over there was huge. So yeah, she'd flip. I'm not afraid of spiders. I'm afraid of snakes. I cannot stand snakes, no matter how small they are. But spiders don't bother me because I can kill them easily. I just always worry about snakes, killing me, I guess, even though most of them are not poisonous. I don't know the difference. Therefore, I'm afraid of snakes. Yeah, Puka does not want me in the doghouse either. She doesn't actually have a doghouse, but she would not like me being in the doghouse. So anyway, guys, it is 10 p.m. I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank you all. Uh, no problem, Tony. No big deal. Yeah, Puka, spelled like that. You're correct. So anyway, thank you guys. Have a good night, and see you sometime soon. Maybe next Tuesday. Maybe next Tuesday. I could probably do next Tuesday. I can't do next Monday. So no, next Tuesday's Halloween. So yeah, we'll figure it out. I will let you guys know. Maybe I'll do a community poll. Who knows? Thank you guys. Have a good night.